If you're stuck in a toxic relationship, then this message is for you. Okay. If you're stuck in a toxic relationship, excuse me, thought I was going to sneeze. If you're stuck in a toxic relationship, I need you to understand we have to look first and foremost at the facts of the situation to determine if he actually cares. Majority of you, if you look at the facts, you're going to realize he actually doesn't care because it doesn't demonstrate honesty, integrity, kindness, love, respect. The list can go on and on. Okay. But you might be telling yourself it'll be okay. You might be telling yourself that it's not that big of a deal. You might be telling yourself he's just emotionally immature. So what I need you to understand is we need to take a pause just to be able to say, okay, what is actually true based on the facts? Not based on your perception, not based on your perspective, not based on your feelings. What's actually true based on the facts? Then from there, what do we need to believe to be able to change the end result? Now, what I mean by that is you're not believing this fake idea, this fake reality. You're believing what is actually true. The facts are he doesn't care about you because he cheated on you and he keeps cheating on you. Okay. Well, then that means we need to actually take a move for you. What does that look like? Maybe that means getting you free mentally and emotionally so you can leave physically. Maybe that means you getting a second job so you can actually make more money so you can step out of the relationship because he's not going to let you free and he's not going to contribute. There's multiple ways to be able to attack this, but you need to understand when you feel like you're trapped and you feel like you're addicted, we have to look at what are the facts. Then how do we actually establish where you want to go, who you want to be? Then we start stepping you along that direction, breaking apart the ties and the bonds that have you stuck to this toxic person. Oftentimes we're dealing with trauma bonds. Trauma bonds are this piece of hope and potential. You're hoping that this guy's going to change for you. You believe he has the potential of changing, which he does, but he's not willing to actually do it because he's not willing to be honest. And so this hope and potential keeps you locked into the toxic relationship over and over and over. Then you have the cognitive dissonance. You're like, wait, what do I believe? Do I believe his words? Do I believe his actions? Because he says he loves me, but he keeps abusing me. Which do I actually believe? So then you have to take a look at like, what is actually true? We have to work on slowly getting rid of each one of these limiting beliefs, these bonds that have wrapped you up, have tied you, and have left you stuck to a toxic person. If you're ready to actually do this, I want to give you the tools to help you be free. And I want you to know how I do this. You can go to rawmotivations.com/breakthrough or on Instagram or Facebook. If you resonate with this, you can just shoot me a DM that says break free because I want to be able to help you actually break free and give you some of the tools of what that looks like. Oftentimes you want to break free. You want to get free, but you haven't had the chance or the opportunity to do that. Mainly because you either feel stuck or addicted, but you're not sure what's going to happen. How am I going to survive? Is it actually possible? 100% it's possible. And we work with people every single day that are moving from victim to survivor to thriver, growing and developing who they actually are. I had the privilege of getting off a call just a couple minutes ago from several people that are in our clarity challenge, understanding that they've been walking through this and they see this momentum that happens. They have this motivation of like, okay, what do I need to do next? How do I continue to move this forward inside my entire life? How do I show this up with the same intensity now that I'm broken out of this relationship? I'm healing myself. Now, how do I do that spiritually? Now, how do I connect that physically? Now, how do I do that money-wise so I can actually step out on my own and be the person that I'm called to be? This is the piece I need you to understand. There is a path to freedom, but the majority of times people don't know the path or they're unwilling to take it. Sometimes the path to freedom is difficult. I get it. It's extremely difficult, but this is where you have to choose your heart. It's going to be hard to stay in the toxic relationship. It's going to be hard to leave. The question is, what's going to help you long-term? What is going to actually be the best for you long-term? What is going to be the best for your kids long-term? What does that actually look like? If you're ready to actually move forward in your healing, in your growth, in your development, then shoot me a DM after this live that says break free. If you're on some of the other social medias right now, you can go to rawmotivations.com/breakthrough. Break free, breakthrough. You get the idea, okay? But I want to give you the tools to be able to help you move forward. Some of you are putting in like, hey, I've left and I'm breaking free. I left and headed for a divorce. That's awesome. I'm moving out, but I'm afraid. What is it? I'm moving out, but I'm afraid to make the next step, divorce, because he's so calm now. So talking to me about love after he trashed me the last couple of weeks. Yeah, because he's got you back in the pocket of, oh, maybe it's not so bad. He's going to continue to do this, reel you back in and out. It's called intermittent reinforcement. It's like, oh, you're moving too far away. Hey, I love you. Oh, you're back here. Hey, I hate you. Go away. It's going to happen over and over. And he's going to continue to play the game until you realize it's a game, until you actually make the move. He probably won't file for divorce because he's comfortable with where he currently is. I recently moved into my new rental 4 days ago. I'm struggling so bad. The loneliness is real. to crave the love from the one holding a knife in the back. 100%. Like, I need you to understand, like, where you're at right now, it doesn't feel good, but it is normal because of how toxic the relationship has been and how it's hurt you. Okay. The thing that's going to help you the most is understanding the situation and helping you rewire the mindset, dealing with the emotions and working through that. That's what we want to help you through. We own a business together. Totally get that. It's going to be super hard to be able to disentangle. You might have to bring in lawyers. You might have to do different things to be able to separate. But ideally, you want to get out of that. It's not going to work long term. It never does. What happens when you are dependent on him? Due to my health, I have cancer. It could be a period of time that you have to rely on him, but I would start to find other support groups, other people that can support you, because he's not going to do it long term. Unless it's this piece of like, he's going to do it so he can hold it back on you of like, oh, look what I did because I'm such an amazing person. I swear I was in fear for years, but I made a decision to leave and I did, and I ain't moving back. That's awesome. Like, fear is the biggest thing that will keep you stuck. Like fear, obligation, guilt. That's the fog that narcissists leave you in. So you understand, to be able to move away from that is going to require you to step into places that are fearful. Just understand that if you don't step through the pain, you will be stuck in it forever. Happens all the time. You can't go around it. You can't do anything else. You have to step through the pain. It's the hardest thing. Just mainly scared. Not my first time doing this. I don't know how he's going to react. First one tried to kill me, actually killed my dog. I'm also afraid that this will do that too. So please be careful with whatever you're doing. Please be careful as you get free and take whatever you need to try to make sure that you're going to be free. The other thing I would say is, if this is the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, whatever it might be, please reach out for help. Like, we deal with people who are stuck in these cycles, because until we break you out of the cycle, it's going to repeat. It's going to continue to happen over and over and over again. And I don't want that for you. And I'm sure you don't want that for you. So please reach out for help. My narcissist is sending ugly pictures to men that he thinks I'm talking to get them to stop talking to me. He sent videos of him sleeping with other people and trying to stay no contact. Is it something that you even have to have communication? Like, do you have kids under 18 that you have to talk to? Like, otherwise, like, break off communication, because he's going to continue to do that. The fear is consuming at times. Is harder when he's older. The older you get. I'm 49. Totally get that. The majority of people, I'd say the average age range of people that are inside the Thriver community, of us working like one-on-one with people, is between like 44 and 50. Like, that's like typical of like, hey, this is where we're at. We got to rebuild. We got to work through this. We have 4 kids. So you're going to have to limit a lot of communication. If you can get a court order on communication, you want to be able to limit it to like using like a Talking Parents app, like something that he has to communicate through, so that you can block him on everything else. Maybe you're even at the place where you can say, hey, I'm going to communicate through email. Let's try it that way. And email is the only thing you have. There's a lot of different people that have it. So you have a no contact order. So he's violating the no contact order. If he's violating that, report that every single time. I know it feels like crazy and redundant, but if you do that, it helps to train the narcissist. Like, when you're separated and he's triggering you, you have to train the dog. Like, that's all it is. Like, narcissists are dogs at that point. They will not stop peeing on the carpet till you train them otherwise. And you have to do that only with a consistency. If you do it randomly, oh, you can pee today, you can't pee tomorrow, they're always going to pee there. Okay, you need to understand that. Is struggling with the discard and feeling lonely, is it normal to feel like I need to meet someone else to help me? Yes, because you're trying to solve a wound versus actually deal with the healing. Does this mean I could also be a narcissist? No, it doesn't mean that you're a narcissist just from that statement. That's typical of people like, well, maybe if I get in the next relationship, it'll be better. It won't. You need to start working on your healing and your development, so that when you move into the next relationship, you're not carrying your baggage or your brokenness, but you're able to move forward in a healthy way. That way you also don't fall into another relationship as well. Was it when a narcissist has sex but let me sleep with him? What is it when narcissist has sex but let me sleep with him? I don't understand that. So he had sex with you and then he let you sleep with him? Or he had sex with someone else and then let you sleep with him? I'm confused. It's 3 months before the wedding. He planned to divorce me a week after the wedding. Does that mean he's a psychopath? I would probably say sociopath or psychopath. Yeah, that would sound more like that than a narcissist at that point. I'm familiar with being in that cycle over and over. I finally left and will be returning, now headed for divorce. Keep going after it, because otherwise he will try to convince you not to do that. My attorney told me when the kids were involved, if he goes to jail, I won't get support. A no-win situation. No win, but yes, you can figure out how to make more money, versus you can't really figure out how to help your kids deal with the toxicity. So like, it just depends on what you're evaluating as win. If it's money, then yeah, it's a no-win. If it's getting free, then yeah, it's a win. You have to be able to see what actually really matters, because you can always figure out different solutions to different problems. It's not that people don't have resources. It's typically they haven't figured out how resourceful they need to be. Okay. He has sex with you but won't sleep with you. It's not necessarily narcissistic. I mean, then that's kind of like vague. Like I don't really know what to do or where to go with that. So hopefully this helps, just answering some questions and walking through some different things. If you'd like some help and if you'd like to be able to see how to be able to move forward in the healing process, DM me the words break free. Facebook and Instagram, that's what I'm typically on to be able to respond and message you. Otherwise, like YouTube, if you're watching right now, you can go to rawmotivations.com/breakthrough, THROUGH, whatever. I was going to say W, but obviously it's not W. Breakthrough, Raw Motivations Breakthrough. Okay, because I need you to understand, like, we have the tools to help do this, and we've seen this transform people's lives. If you go to the breakthrough link, you'll be able to see a lot of different people and a lot of different stories there of how we've actually helped that. So I need you to understand, like, there is a way to break free, but you need to be able to understand you have to take the first move. But my narcissistic partner is still in denial. Yeah, they're going to be in denial because they don't want to admit that they're a narcissist. At the end of the day, what are you doing to actually break free for yourself? You can't change them. And it's going to be a dead end road of you trying to change the other person. But you can transform you if you choose to make the decision now.